Hello everyone, and welcome back to some Elden Ring invasions. Before we get to the Belurat Township ones, I have one here in Lindell that shows off the build for anyone unfamiliar. I am doing a faith-arcane build that uses Radigan's Sword Seal in order to use a wider variety of weapons, because I am testing out an array of DLC weapons, in this case Milady and the Mesmer Soldier Axe, which is a miniature version of the warped axe. Um, and as you can see, although this guy is using a colossal sword and has a lot of hyper armor, he is not wearing any clothes, which makes him very subject to bleed. And I very much enjoy having double slash on the light great sword because it has a lot of range, and there he does a good job of taking out the aggro. And as you can see, there's the nice little catch there, and he had just kind of exploded again. Clothes are kind of important. And here I'm just kind of testing out perfumes. I know that there's a lot you can do with like buff stacking with them, but I'm kind of just like seeing what they can do and also seeing how the deadly poison works with the arcane build. And the big guy just explodes that poor wizard with bubbles. GG guys, and thank you for providing a good opening demonstration on what this build is trying to do before we get to Belurat Township, which is main focus for the DLC. Now, this is, I think when I did these invasions, it's still about like 3 days into the DLC, so we're I am still learning the layout of these areas as well as a lot of the other players. Um, as always, when you're at elevators, be very careful. I have Stormcaller, although it had slight nerf on the hyper armor, but initiation time, it's still very good to have. And here I am following the host and their one phantom. And as you can see here, they're both using colossal swords, which is potentially a little rough. Here I try to use Dragon Ice, but because I don't have a jumping one to like re-angle it, I do end up running into a little bit of difficulty. Now the enemies in Belurat are there. There are just like some standard guys that are just running around. However, and they're not necessarily super strong, but like the big guys, including the guy with two swords down here, is quite strong. Um, no, that guy's not using a colossal. He's using the Black Jail Knight's sword, which is quite good still and has a lot of potentially high burst damage with its Ash of War. But yeah, so that guy's really good if he can get involved in the fight. And then the very large shadows that have like the iron cleavers, like that guy is, I think that guy might cast spells, but the regular shadows die pretty quickly. These big guys, you want them in the fight if you can get them in the fight. However, it's not always possible because of how the aggro ranges work. Now, this is a relatively small room, and one of the nice things about Radigan's Sword Seal is I can change up the weapons that I'm using relatively easy without having to worry about hard swaps that much. And the thing that I'm going to use is Moog's Spear, and that is largely due to that it can kind of go through this wall. So when the host is camping the door, I can push them away from that particular corner, which is really nice because that way I don't have a guy swinging an ultra great sword at me. Like the second I step into the door, I can create some room using the Ash of War. Seeing that guy was drinking a flask, I went in for the just for the nice running R1, and I back up again just to keep healing going and see if I can get any of the PvE in the fight. However, they're pretty adamant on not bringing all these guys in. Um, Here I'm able to use the corner again just to keep pushing them further and to finish this off as they start to go up the ladder. Um, and here I'm also using the blue Blessed Dew Talisman. Doesn't come up as much here. But yeah, this is important. Even though I take a lot of damage, I look to see know that the host is almost gone and go for the roll catch. Risky play, but it ended up paying off. GG guys, that was a really fun fight. But I'm using the blue Blessed Dew Talisman because invasions are, so basically all those guys are standing in a very small room. There is, depending on where they moved from, all the enemies behind me could be dead or not, but I know, as I pointed out in the last invasion, there's the big guy up there, and he's very important, especially in drawing all the stuff, so that way I can use things like Dragon Breath to just clear out the phantoms, and then I can test out perfumes and some of the new stuff, which is a little bit easier. It's a lot easier to test out the new weapons when you don't have 3 people trying to kill you. But even though I'm going to test out the perfumes, you'll see that the Mesmer Soldier Axe is really good. And the perfumes don't do a ton of poise, but they do a decent amount. They do an alright amount of damage. And I do get the deadly poison off. However, I do back off, drink my flask, eat my bowl. Actually, I don't even bother eating my bowls. I just kind of go for it, which is a little bit risky. But as you can see, the mini warped axe is amazing. Oh yeah, but the blue, it's not as powerful as Starlight Shards, but it's still just really, really good to have, and basically it's more efficient than the regular Blessed Dew Talisman. So basically in 18 ticks you get a Bestial Vitality, which gives you 5 HP over 60 or 90 seconds. I forget which it is, but it's like you get more HP per second with Bestial Vitality in the Blue Talisman and unlimited Ashes of War with time. So later in this invasion I'm gonna be like a little bit of spam with Fly Swarm just to get these 2 moving. Now these guys, again, using some Colossals, nothing wrong with swinging big swords, because there's a decent amount of especially with the Black Knights, like there's a lot of enemies that just like don't stun very well in the DLC. So going for stance breaks or just what you can to stun with them with the big swords, like I don't blame these guys. Colossals are really good for just getting through the stage. And here I'm just using the guys on the bridge to just keep everything there. And again, I like using Dragon Ice. It's because there's limited ways to cure rot. For the most part, I don't generally like to use Rot Breath unprovoked. And the burst potential is a little bit higher on Dragon Ice, I think, with the Frost proc. There I got the backstab off of the R1. Yeah. So here I'm mostly just using the bridge guys as cover and extra damage. And like I said earlier, with the blue Blessed Dew Talisman, I'm able to just kind of like throw some spells in without having to worry about efficiency. Like granted, they can also have this talisman, but I can it puts resource pressure on a little bit more than not at all. Because before, you would very much always want, before the DLC, I would want to pretty much like conserve all of the Ashes of War. I can use pots and other consumables that don't use up my FP in order to maximize the amount of Ashes of Burst potential I have while I have the enemies around, or in this case, whenever I can get the host and phantom vulnerable. And there I ran a little bit further than what I probably needed to, but Yeah, and those guys on the bridge came in clutch there, as I was not able to get the backstabs, because backstabs are a little weird right now. But yeah, so the having the slow FP regeneration, it allows for me to more comfortably apply pressure with spells. And then just as a little bit of range stuff, a little Reduvia juice only hurt Host and Phantom. GG guys. Another really fun invasion. I really like Belurat for invasions. And this little clip I left in because it was absolutely hilarious, because I didn't realize that like that statue is like a mimic tier statue, a mimic veil statue, so I swore the host somehow got up there. However, they're actually down at the little platform below, but like I had to shoot twice because I was so convinced that that was someone got up there, and I wanted to knock them down into the flies. However, as you can see the little platform down there, there's the host and Phantom, again, mimic veiled, so I wasn't that far off in my guess. However, I was just a little bit off in the location. And what's really funny is I don't know how to get to that platform. I didn't know when, yeah, on day 3 when I was in this invasion. I don't know now when I'm recording this, like a couple weeks into the DLC. So I'm going to be shooting a ballista at these guys for quite some time. And with the power of editing, I can cut out 10 minutes of me shooting a ballista at these guys and jump to the more exciting part, where you can see the host get 2-shot by ballistas because they didn't bother leveling vigor. And again, Blue Blessed Tear Talisman. I'm able to Bestial Vitality Warming Stone freely to save red flasks for when I need burst healing, I guess is the best way to put it. But when I need to recover a large amount of my HP bar all at the same time, I can do that. But if I'm just going to wait because those guys completely refuse to play the level, Bestial Vitality plus Warming Stone is incredible. And like I said, they've basically been standing there. Like, this is a 15-minute invasion of them just standing around waiting to gank me as I just shoot ballista at them, because they would rather have ballista shot at them for 15 minutes than attempt to play the level. And as you can see, the host is standing dangerously close to the edge. However, they are waiting with high damaging sorceries, and also they're wearing the death bed dress, which would heals their friend. But here, first shot knocks them down, and because they haven't played any of the level, all of the flies are still there. And shot number 2. Bye guys, I hope you all enjoyed the video, and I will catch you in the next one. Have an awesome day. See ya!